Want to go, pretty boy?
Two minutes by yourself and you feel shame, and then you get free.
The only thing better than a glass of beer is tea with Miss McGill.
And welcome to the Fourth Line Voice Podcast. My name is Darren. Thank you very much for tuning in. Episode 439 of The Big Show, some enforcer-based podcasting coming at you, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. What's happening? How you guys doing? How's March Madness going? You want to hear about my bracket? That's what everybody will be. That's what everybody will be talking about at work this Monday. Oh, my bracket. Well, I got to say, for those of you that don't know, I'm actually a huge March Madness fan. I love betting on it. I like betting on college basketball in general, but it's funny because, obviously during the season, I'm not sitting on my couch watching Gonzaga games or anything. But come March Madness, oh yeah. I mean, obviously there's games going on right now, but I had to come downstairs and talk to you guys, or I'd be upstairs watching it. Well, I'd be downstairs watching it. The wife's doing report cards. Yeah, good times around here. Yeah, I think it's probably, I think I just like the whole tournament thing. That's probably what it is. But you're filling out the brackets, and even my wife fills out a bracket, and of course we have, we're in the big office pool. Actually, right now she's one up on me. I've heard about it all afternoon. It's just, I don't know. I dig March Madness, I gotta say. So, but anyway, I will not bore you with my picks. But what are we going to talk about? Well, first of all, I hopefully everybody, I hope you cats went and listened to my last week's episode with old Hank the Tank, Matt Henry. I want to again thank Matt for coming on the show. Former Brandon Wheat King tough guy. You know how we do it around here, right? Timelined his career and, just got his thoughts on playing with Brandon for a couple seasons and in the SJHL for a year with Battleford. And, talked about the future, what might happen, and, we'll see. But, selfishly, personally, I really hope he goes pro next year. I know there's a good chance that Tulsa and the East Coast League still would like to have him down there. I'd love to see what he would do at the pro level, because he was great in the Western Hockey League, dominant fighting wise. And it was just 2 seasons ago, right? 2 years ago. So, but kind of just an old school throwback guy, like a '90s guy. Which in today's age, although in the Western Hockey League, it's there's still a few, but just some great tilts, and it just reminded me of an old school '90s guy. Just the way he carried himself and hit and fight and. Yeah, just, so I'd love to see him at the pro level, but, we'll see. Folks, I'm doing my best to talk him into it. But, so that was last week's episode, and I hope you guys check it out. Oh, hold on. I think of a couple Saturday night beers. Here, cheers. First today. First in this hand. What else? Well, and then... the other announcement, of course, was, and you guys know I'm a fan of Ice Wars. Ice Wars was announced June 14th in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Canada, the border battle, Canada versus the United States. So that'll be interesting. It's back, Ice Wars. I guess you could also call it Ice Wars 4, technically, but it's been a couple years. But they have actually partnered up with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So it's called Bare Knuckle Ice Wars. I think that'll really help the promotion, signing on with Bare Knuckle. That's a pretty solid brand, and so moving forward. And the press release was really interesting. So they got June 14th in Mount Pleasant, then June 28th back in Edmonton at the River Creek Casino, and I'll be at that one. And AJ Galante is back in the mix. He was not a part of it. They had a kind of a separation after the second one, but he is back together with Charlie Nama, who are the two kind of I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Charlie goes all the way back to the 05 one in Prince George, the black and blue tournament, I believe. So actually, I'll have to ask him about that. So great that AJ's back. I love the event, and we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited that they finally announced it, and I know there was kind of a bit of a, I know they announced one last year in October. I think it was in Detroit last year. It was kind of, and then I don't know what happened, but Bare Knuckle Fighting is on board. They've had the press conference. So June 14th in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And the gimmick is apparently there's going to be 12 fights. No tournament this time. It's the first one without a tournament, but 12 fights. And looking forward to it. And also they announced going forward, they want to have 6 events this year, so 4 more to announce. I heard Philly. I've heard rumors of Philly. But in 2026, get this, they want to have 24 events. 2 a month. So they got to find some fighters. So, hey, for the folks out there listening, I know I got players that listen and ex-players. If you want to take a shot at Ice Wars, man, get in fighting shape, and seriously, if you want to take part, get a hold of me. I know the right people. I can put you in touch with the right people if you're serious about wanting to do it. Yeah, man. And if you're kind of like Ice Wars, what's that? I've heard about it. Actually, all 3 events are on YouTube. If you go and check it out, and you got to get a feel for what's happening. But they've actually had 3 tournaments. And the first tournament, Daniel Amesbury won. The second tournament, Justin Schmidt won. It was a middleweight or like a light heavyweight tournament. And then in the third one, Ryan Devine won the third one. So, but and I've heard some of the names that are out there that want to take part, so it could be interesting. And I'm really looking I love me some Ice Wars. I am looking forward to it. And so in June, folks, get ready. Ice Wars is coming. Well, what else? I'll do this. I should obviously, we're 7 minutes in, and I should do the promo about, obviously, member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Over 100 shows on the network. I'm on the original content creator side myself. Joe Lazito, who has released part 2 of Luke Gauthier's interview there, an old AHL tough guy. And also my other venture, Bruised and Battered. It's on episode 21. We just had guest Kyle Powell on, and of course I do that show with my 2 co-hosts Jay and Alec. It's actually their show. I'm kind of in the back. I'm in the backseat chiming in here and there, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a departure from what I kind of do here. Because obviously it's current minor league hockey, which is obviously different for me. But I've said a number of times on this show, and and I'll echo it again. It's East Coast League, man. Lots of solid tilts this year in the East Coast League, and I saw it the other night in one of the fight groups. The guys were complaining about the NHL because there's like 14 games and 0 fights. I was like, and you're surprised by this? And I'm like, you guys need to get out of your NHL bubble. If you're like a hockey fan and you want, I said, get Flow Sports. It's cheap. You get all the games and watch the East Coast League, man. I mean, if you want, it's never going to be what it was, obviously. But I mean, if you want some old school, it's fast, it's aggressive, because these guys are trying to get called up and, move up. But there's been a ton of fights, and, and there's been, a couple line brawls and shit. I mean, it's far more aggressive and fighty than the NHL is. So, I don't know. But I think a lot of folks, they can't, and I've had this conversation with people, and, whatever, but it's just like they can't get out of the NHL bubble. And it's like, there's a lot of hockey that exists outside of the NHL. I mean, I get it, but it's like, if you're looking for some fast, passionate, emotion-filled hockey, East Coast League is light years ahead of the NHL these days. So, and it's not like you're watching, Rec League on a Thursday night at the 9:00 game in the Adult Safe League when you're watching the East Coast League. It's like, it's affiliated hockey 2 steps down from the NHL. I mean, it's, these guys are something, you got prospects and young guys down there and shit, and there are tough guys too, obviously. So, I mean, the hockey's great and fast and everything. So, I don't know. I would recommend to people to check out the East Coast Hockey League. I mean, in the grand scheme of it, I don't give a shit, but I'm not watching any of this shit. But I've seen the fights and Coast Battles on Instagram. If you want to watch East Coast League fights, Caden does a great job, and so does John at the Hockey Fight League. Check out the Hockey Fight League and Coast Battles on their Instagram feeds. You won't miss a single punch. And there's been, just scroll it one night, go to Instagram and scroll Coast Battles, and you'll see all the good tilts, man. Like, so. But yes, check that out. The Bruised and Battered podcast. I'd love it if you guys. I think there's a lot of crossover anyway, but if not, I'd really appreciate you guys supporting the effort. So, also, if you happen to be on social media, like I was saying, I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but I mean, I have to go on there to promote this shit, but if I didn't have to, there'd be no way I'd be anywhere near social media. But follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, but also my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have over 4,000 subscribers, but I have over 2,500 fight videos from all different leagues. You'll just go down that rabbit hole. You'll find some really good old stuff from the minors, the West, from junior back in the day, and yeah, check it out. And I would say, if you could download, don't stream, please. That's how we get paid. But also, before you hit play on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, there's that little stars. Could you rate the show, please? That helps us in the algorithms. I know, but I think I haven't said that too often lately on this show. But if you guys could do that, that'd be really cool. So, but we got to pay some bills here. Speaking of March Madness and betting. Got a DraftKings commercial. Hey, drop $5, get $150 at bonus bets. That ain't bad. Trying to help you guys out here, giving you some free money to bet on March Madness. But yeah, check it out, and we'll get the show going right after this.
And now here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, basketball fans, are you ready to win some real money? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 dunks on its rivals, including Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players and choose if they will have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, 3-pointers, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. Don't settle for a small payout. Switch to Pick 6 and cash in your basketball knowledge. New players get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the promo code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to pay $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms and pick6draftkings.com/promos.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay. I saw tonight as I was scrolling, kind of getting ready for the show. Well, Pat Maroon plans to retire at the end of the year. I said, fuck the way he fights. I thought he retired like 7 years ago. And then Dan replied to me, he had a decent fight tonight. I said, Dan, the fucking bar is set pretty low if we're calling that fight decent. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Maroon's had a hell of a career and everything. I'm not taking anything away from a guy who won a few cups. I mean, a fucking passenger on the cup teams. Don't give me any of that shit. But, I mean, he used to fight whatever, but I don't know. To me, the last bunch of years, he's just been embarrassing. And I mean, I don't know. To me, that guy should be charged with theft because he's been stealing a fucking check for the last I don't know how many years. But whatever. Happy trails to Pat Maroon. I have a list. Robert sent me a list. I've had him on this show. He's an old Dallas guy, and he was like, "You got to check out this list. It's from the Hockey News." So, it's a gem already. And it's the 5 toughest Dallas stars of all time. It's from the Hockey News. I haven't read it yet. He sent me the link in the Facebook Messenger. I told him, I said, well, I'm going to open it on the air. If I'm thinking back, because I think it's during the summer of the Hockey News when they got all these different writers to write, like the local beat reporters kind of did these like toughest guys and the lists were just atrocious, as you would expect the Hockey News to be. But, so I don't know if I've done the Dallas one or not, but yeah, if I have it, or if I have, whatever. It was 100 and some episodes ago, so we have new listeners, and and it's been a while, so it'll be new to you. We'll do that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and it was interesting. I kind of came across it when I was like looking at hockey cards the other night, and I was just kind of looking at like Pat Verbeek and you're just kind of. Like, you're looking at their numbers, it's like, God damn, 46 goals, 200 and some minutes, but it's like, I don't remember any of their fights. Like, how many fights were they in? And I went and looked, and it's like one that year. And it's like, man, you had like 200 minutes of penalties in like one fight. I mean, how many shitty penalties did you take? And the dude still had almost 50 goals. It's like, if you had cut your penalty minute total in half, you'd have like, how many more goals would you have had? It was like one of these, and I just started like picking out a few names. So I have a few names that I wrote down, and with different seasons, and then I went and looked at how many fights they had, and it's like, dude, you took a lot of shitty penalties. You talk about coach killers. Like, this would have kept your coach up at night. Like, you talk about gray hairs, man. Like, and they were good, and they're good players, and that's the thing, right? It's like. It's amazing, you get, yes, Whiff, I see you. So I'm going to do that because it was just sort of an interesting exercise. I didn't have too many. And then I know Rob from the Fight Group has, on his page, his YouTube channel has really been booming lately. And I was on it the other night, just kind of, one of those late nights, sitting in the chair, kind of half asleep. I was like, I'll just hit play all, right? He's been doing these rivalry videos, and so we're gonna on the air here. I will watch the rivalry videos, and I don't know which rivalry yet. We'll go to the channel and I'll start scrolling, and we'll see what sounds interesting, and and we'll call it. We'll do the judging best of. Who got the better of the rivalry. I mean, obviously we're not good. Well, I would say the biggest rivalry of them all would probably, or one of, was definitely Ty Domi and Rob Ray, because what was it, 13 fights or whatever. And I actually old Y2J, Chris, I've had him on the show a couple times, but one of the episodes, he and I broke down that whole rivalry and all 13 fights and a bunch of this stuff that went in it, because of course Chris from the Buffalo area, so he had a kind of a unique perspective of it and some behind the scenes stuff, and he told some great stories and stuff. And he got to meet Ray, and because he was a bouncer back at a pretty, kind of a hot club where the players came a lot. So he got to meet a lot of the players and, a lot of the Buffalo guys and Domi as well, and have conversation with them. And he shared some of those on the air too, which is really cool. I should go back and check out my Y2J. Like I said, he's been on a few times, but he was a great guest and he told some really cool stories. We'll do that. Rivalry. So what do I got? Rivalries, penalty minutes and points, and this Dallas Stars list. So we'll get into. Oh, and I should say I should have led with this, but unfortunately, we had some sad news. Passing away, George Foreman passed away at 76 years old. Man, what a career! I was just sort of looking it up. He 76 wins, 68 by knockout, 5 career losses, gold medalist in 68. For the Americans, won the heavyweight title against Joe Frazier his first time in 73, and then in 1994, at 45 years old, comes out of retirement and beats Michael Moore for the belt. But yeah, George Foreman, of course, obviously famous for the Thrilla Manila with Ali, and which unfortunately he lost that one. But, but man, you go back and watch that old, because of course, as he's passed away here, the news cycle's obviously been playing videos and stuff. And I've watched Foreman stuff and watched documentaries on him before, but, man, you go back, young George, the big fro, and just big, just like mean as shit, man. And, I know they used to say, like, back in the day when he was coming up, like, he was super mean and, like, heavy, like, obviously with the knockouts and just, like, but I know after he retired, I think he became a minister and stuff, and he really, Smiling George with the George Foreman grill and everything. But, yeah, what a career, boxing Hall of Famer, and 76 years old. So rest in peace, George Foreman. But, all right, let's, what do we want to do first? Well, we'll do this, I'll do this list here with these penalty minutes and points. I don't know, I just found it kind of fascinating just due to, well, because you see that, you hear nowadays, right? Like everything's power play and special teams, and like the last thing you ever want to do is, ever give the other team a power play and blah, 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 right? I mean, it's so interesting now how it's so specialized, and like power plays are just lethal, right? But back in the day, it's like, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I mean, you had teams with guys with like 300, a couple guys with 300 minutes, some guys with 200 minutes, high hundreds, and it's like, you're almost like, geez, are these guys in the power play constant? But then again, you're looking at the other team, and it was like, well, so did they, right? So, I don't know. I think it was a lot of offsetting minors, I think, or whatever. Maybe a lot of tens, too. But the penalty minute totals were incredible. And I was just going down the list, and like I said, I was looking at the hockey cards, and I was, and I mean, it's my era of guys, so I mean, I knew, but I guess I just never went and looked, like when I thought about it, it's like the first one was like Pat Verbeek, so I'm looking at 87-88, he had 46 goals and like 227 minutes of penalties, and I'm sitting there thinking, and all the fight DVDs and everything I've got and everything, and I knew he had a ton of penalty minutes and stuff, but it was like, I don't ever remember Verbeek fighting. I can't remember a Pat Verbeek fight, so I went on hockeyfights.com. I'm like, how many fights did he have that year? Yeah, 87-88, 227, 3. Like, so you had 227 minutes, 3 fights. The thing is, he had 46 goals. Like I said, imagine if you knocked off like 100, like that's a lot of stupid minor penalties you're taking. And I'm sure obviously some 10s and stuff too, but it's like, knock 100 minutes off, like take off 50 minors, and like you're on the ice for 100 more minutes. How many more goals did you have? 40, you had 46 as is. And I always know, like, and I know it's like, well, they play aggressive, they needed to do that, that was their game, and, if they didn't play that way and blah, blah, yeah, I get it, for sure. But it's just sort of staggering, like, the amount of points they obviously had. Like, they're great players. Like, Verbeek was awesome. I was never a Verbeek fan, but I mean, great player. How many multiple, the next 90-91, 43 goals, 246 minutes, 1 fight, I will say, though, it's kind of odd. In 89-90, he had 44 goals, 228 minutes. He had 9 fights. So I don't know, all of a sudden Pat decided he was going to throw down more. But yeah, the following year, 240, he has 1. And then 92-93, 39 goals, 197 minutes, 2 fights. So at 2, 4, 6, so the guy's cruising, at almost 800 penalty minutes. And he's got, 15 fights and 800 penalty minutes. It's kind of like, But meanwhile, he's got like... 200 some goals in that time period. So it's just like, how many more would you have had? Like, Chris Chelios, 91-92, 56 points, 245 minutes, 5 fights. That's not, 92-93, 73 points, 282 minutes, 3 fights. And especially as a D-man, right? I mean, there's only 6 of you, so you're already shortening up you're leaving your D partner hanging for 282 minutes. But 3 fights? Like, and again, that's 73 points from the blue line. Like, I mean, that's like Norris Trophy numbers. But it's just like, I don't know, it's a bunch of bad penalties. Dave Manson, it's like, the one 92-93 at 45 points, 210 minutes, 2 fights. 95-96, he had 30 points, 205 minutes, 1 fight. Like right there. 415 minutes of penalties, 3 fights. Brutal. Kevin Stevens, 91-92, 54 goals, 254 minutes, 123 points, 1 fight. 92-93, 55 goals, 111 points, 177 minutes, 3 fights. And it's just like, like I said, that's just a lot of bad penalties. But I mean, dude's putting up, like, I mean, if you're the coach, I mean, I guess, what do you say? It's a double-edged sword, right? Dude's got 50 goals and 100 points. What, are you going to go motherfuck him? It's like, well, not really. But it's like, Jesus, how many more, like, you'd have 65 goals if you'd stayed out of the box. Keith Tkachuk, right? 93, 94, 41 goals, 255 minutes, 4 fights. With Phoenix, 52 goals, 228 minutes, 4 fights. Well, the other one, Paul Coffey, 88, 89, 113 points, 193 minutes and penalties, 2 fights. That was the year in Pittsburgh. You know. And I mean, I will say with the Stevens, they won the cup and stuff. So it's like, you know, did he hurt the team? Well, we won the cup and I had 100 points. Well, you know, so I guess you let shit slide. But, I mean, I guess this segment doesn't really, I don't know what conclusion I'm coming to, but I was just more fascinated with the totals and the lack of fights, right? Like, I just the amount of shitty penalties, you know. But when you're winning cups and getting 100 and some points, I guess you're, you know, you can't really, you know, how do you shit on the guy for his results? But I don't know why. I just wanted to throw that out there. I just found it fascinating, to be honest. Yeah. Not quite as exciting and, you know, as tough guy numbers, but no, it was just something I kind of stumbled upon by accident. Like I said, looking at the cards, and I was like, man, these guys took a lot of shitty penalties. Because like I said, going through it, I mean, Madsen is one thing. Tkachuk there, it's like, you know, the fight with Claude Lemieux in the Olympic, you know, whatever. But I mean, I remember him a little bit, but I remember Coffey spazzing out and having an incident. Obviously, Battle of Alberta he was going to get. I know Coffey had a temper. I know that, but Kevin Stevens and like Madsen after he left Chicago was. I mean, I like Dave Madsen. I'm a fan of Dave Madsen, but he turned like I don't care what anybody says. He was soft as shit in the fighting department after he left Chicago. But like Ed Chelios and Verbeek, I mean, I just don't remember them. Especially for Beek. I mean, Chelios, kind of, but, you know, not really. But, I mean, for Beek, I don't ever remember seeing fight. I was just like, you know, not that I was actively seeking out Pat Verbeek fights at any point, but, you know, you just think of all the I was going to say DVDs, but VHS tapes back then. You just, I mean, I'm sure if I went onto YouTube, typed in Pat Verbeek, all his fights are on there, but I have no interest. Why bother? But all of them really solid players. That was the thing with Dave Madsen as well. I mean, I'd call him soft because he wasn't fighting after he left Chicago. But Madsen was a solid player. You know, I'm not putting him in the Chelios Coffee bracket, but I mean, he wasn't just some fucking goon or whatever that couldn't play. Like, Madsen could play. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, that you know, might have like fallen off like a, you know, that might have fallen like a turd in the punch bowl. But let's check out old Robert's list here that he sent me. The Enforcer Week top 5 Dallas Stars enforcers. All right. And he told me they do 1 to whatever. So scroll down really fast. So because he knows I like to do 5 to 1. Okay, we're at the bottom here, so we can go back up. All right, so this was from 2023 in August. I'm pretty sure I did this list, but maybe not. It's the Hockey News, so there's a very good chance that I would have missed it. But I know they were doing their air quote enforcer. You know, it's always funny because they cry about fighting all the time, but then they do like Enforcer Week or whatever and do this. I mean, which is cool, but it's just like. But yet, for the other, like, you know, 51 weeks of the year, you fucking whine and bitch about fighting. So, but anyway, I know Robert's a Dallas guy, so you know, he said I'll find this list amusing. So let's get into this. Now, am I doing okay? I was gonna say, am I just talking for nothing? I forgot to hit record again. No, I did. Okay, a real professional setup down here in the basement with the lights off. But okay, what do we got? Number 5. Anton Roussel. Is that how you say his name? That's how. Yeah, like, what is it? Antoine Roussel? All right. 413 games played, 806 minutes, 51 fights. Oh, I didn't think he fought that much. Russell wasted a little time to establish himself as a physical force of the Stars, like playing a hard-nosed brand of hockey from the moment he entered the NHL in 2012-13. Registered career high 209 minutes in his second season, post first back-to-back campaigns, 11 tussles. All right, that's more fights than I thought he had. Engaged in a host of enforcers. Russell engaged in a host of enforcers while in Dallas uniform for 6 seasons. Zach Cassian, Rich Clune, Carcillo, Shaw. Speaking of Shaw, Russell tilted against the Blackhawks standout in 2013 as a must-watch. The Frenchman wasn't a slouch offensively as a string. Either in Texas, stringing together 4 consecutive 20-point seasons. So you're saying Shaw versus Russell. You know what, folks? Hold on. I'm going to hit pause. The magic of editing. I'm going to hit pause. I want to go watch this fight. Let's see what these guys are talking about. Well, it wasn't a bad fight for Shaw. I mean, he was throwing some good. Well, of course, Russell, the nerd, wearing his little tinted visor. So right there, he's losing points for that. Back when he didn't have to wear a visor because Shaw's not wearing one. You know, I don't think he had to wear them back then. But anyway, it wasn't a bad fight, but definitely Russell did pick up the. He actually that's interesting. Back to back 11 fight. All right, well, okay. I guess. All right, there we go. See, that's the thing. It comes in like 2012, 2013. They're talking. Yeah, well, that's right. Obviously, I was not watching any hockey at all, so. Like I said, I had to go look up that fight on YouTube because whatever. But I know this guy's a little bit of a rat. I know that. But that's more fights than I thought he had for those first couple years. But anyway, there's number 5. Here we go. Number 4, Brendan Morrow. I like Brendan Morrow. 836 games, 1,252 fights. Former captain, will be a fan favorite in Dallas, work ethic, feistiness. Morrow remains the franchise leader in penalty minutes. Really remains the franchise leader in penalty minutes and through nearly 950 hits. It's 13-year tenure. 25th overall when he was drafted in 97. He wasn't valiantly standing up for his teammates. Were also impressive numbers in the production department. Registered 720 goal seasons. Finished. Okay, well they just. I always liked Brendan Morrow. He hell of a captain, great player. I hesitate. Like I said, it's the hockey pocket, or the hockey news enforcer week. Okay, I don't know if I would put Brendan Morrow on this list. I mean, more of a power forward guy, if anything. 52 fights. I mean, yeah, all right. Well, shit, they call Ovechkin a power forward, and he's got 3. So, all right, that's number 4. Number 3, Grant Marshall. Well, I can get behind Grant Marshall. Grant Marshall's cool as shit. 402 games, 490 minutes, 55 fights at the Stars. Marshall immediately made his presence felt. The Lone Star reaching double-digit fight totals in 3 consecutive seasons outside of his career in the late 90s, battling tough customers like McCabe, Grimson, Richardson, Ojic. Marshall's efforts ultimately paid dividends in 99 playoffs with the Stars won the Stanley Cup. 4 years later, he helped the Devils hoist the trophy with 6 postseason goals, including a series-clinching goal for the East Conference semifinal. Yeah, I'm a big Grant Marshall fan. He is cool as shit. Great fight with Bob Probert when he was with Dallas, I believe. He had a great fight with Probert, but I think he's with Dallas when it happened. Yes, I would put Marshall on this list for sure. All right, who's number 2? We get it. Steve Ott. All right, 566 game, 83 fights. One of the most prolific. That's the word I'm looking for. Pest. During his play days, absolute master, getting under the skin. Yeah, 25th overall with Dallas in 2000 drafts, but 9 seasons. Trademark physicality, the tune of 1,100 hits at the second most penalty minutes in franchise history. He fought 16 times during his first full year in the league, engaging with the likes of Avery Barnaby, which was clearly a sign of things to come. Evident rather quickly that Ott wouldn't back down from a challenge, fighting aside. Provided the Stars some notable offense too, including a career-high 22 goals in 2009-2010. Definitely kind of Barnaby light. Again, I guess when I scrolled down to the bottom of the list because I wanted to do 5 to 1, I guess I should have read the preview of this. I'll get to that at the top here. Like, what's their qualifications? Although he did have 83 fights, so that would probably be we're talking Dallas Stars history. That's probably got to be near the top. Because I guess it's not your win-loss record. It's how much are you willing to do it. But Ott was an incredible pest, though. He definitely was good at his job. Number 1, Chris Barch. 263 games, 84 fights with the Stars. Barch definitely earned his stripes. The true scrapper in 6 seasons with Dallas. Dropped the gloves, dished out 385 hits along the way. Gritty forwards, most prolific fight year was 09-2010 when he dropped the gloves 20 times in 63 games. Fought Bissonnette on 4 occasions, including twice as a single contest. Played for the Panthers and Devils. He continued to rack up his fair share of penalty minutes before hanging up his skates. His most frequent opponent fight-wise over the years was heavyweight Sean Thornton. Yeah. I'm down with Chris Barch, actually. I believe I did. Did I not do a player spotlight on Barch? I think I did. Actually, I lied. I don't think I did, but I think what I was doing, because when I do player spotlights, it was like on Gaz. Well, Biz was one of them. Biz and Gazdick and guys like that. Well, they all ended up fighting Barch a whole bunch of times, so maybe that's why I felt like I did a player spotlight on him. Maybe I did, but I don't think so. But I like Chris Barch. I do like Barch, kind of one of the newer guys. So, okay, here's the tagline here. So, teach and Hockey's Enforcers Week, top 5 Dallas Stars enforcers. Fighting has not been an integral part of the Dallas Stars game for the past half decade, and it appears that trend will continue. Head coach Peter DeBoer continued to rank 27 in the NHL with just 13 fights last year. The current roster doesn't include any player with any real penchant for fisticuffs. Nevertheless, a few noteworthy fighters have represented Big D over the years. So we got Barch, Ott, Marshall, Morrow, Roussel. Yeah, I mean, Dallas. Well, I guess Basil. I was going to say Basil McRae, but I guess that was a Minnesota guy. But Churla was in Dallas. So Churla should have been number 1. Dallas. Who we got? You had Downey, Erskine, Heward. Those are all kind of like one-season guys, I guess, or like Erskine. You know what? Actually, fuck, if you're Dallas, I mean, yeah, I said Downey. Darian Hatcher. I'd put him over Roussel. Yeah, like I wouldn't really call any of these guys well, I guess Barch was an enforcer. I wouldn't. Ott was a pest. Even Morrow had 52 fights though. Roussel had 51. Yeah, but I mean, like Shane Churla and Erskine would smoke those two for sure. Well, they would smoke Ott. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, you missed out kind of, I would, Churla is the biggest one, and Erskine, I don't know how many games, off the top of my head, I don't know how many games Heward just didn't play that many NHL games, so he couldn't have played that many games with the Stars. But I mean, he would thump these guys. But I mean, there's a bunch of guys in Dallas that would fight, one-on-one fight with people. Like, I mean, you could have Cote too, Patrick Cote. I mean, he didn't play much in Dallas, but I mean, really, Chris Murray's in Dallas. I mean, Chris Murray would have smoked like fucking Ott and Morrow and Roussel. So yeah, Robert, it's an interesting list. Actually, it's a list to think about because I would have Barch on there. I think you got to put Ott on there. I mean, 83 fights, but it's like, how are we doing this? It's like, Ott wasn't an enforcer; he was a pest. But I mean, he still had 83 fights, so he backed his shit up. I'll give him that. But you know, in terms of like, if we're going fight wise, 1-on-1, yeah, I would have Churla at 1. Barch at 2, I guess. Yeah. I really like Grant Marshall. Grant Marshall was like shoe leather tough. I wouldn't call him an enforcer, but he was just a tough guy. I'll go Homer a little bit and put him on there. But I wouldn't put Morrow on there. He was a good player, but I wouldn't put him on there. I would never sell on there. But, well, there we go. There's according to the Hockey News, August 8th, 2023. That was their top 5 Dallas Stars enforcers. You know what? I can't, that list wasn't terrible. I've certainly done way worse lists than that for sure. So, I won't shit completely on it. But, actually, that was something to think about, like I said. But I think you got to have Churla on there for sure. Love me some Shane Churla. You got to have Chainsaw on there. You know, I guess the old school in me, though, always thinks of him and McRae with Minnesota, but I know who keeps texting me. I'm ignoring you. Okay, well, now we're going to get to, what are we at, about 38 minutes here. So we got some time for some rivalries. So the YouTube channel is Hockey Fight Legends. Please subscribe to the channel. He's got I'm looking at the top here, 367 videos. This page is dedicated to documenting the history of the hockey enforcers with original works you won't find anywhere else on YouTube. This page is for educational, historical preservation of the history of some of the hardest working players of all time. Please enjoy and please look over the players list for easier searching. There you go. Almost 2,000 subscribers. Well done, Rob. Rob's a good dude. Been on this channel a few times. So let's scroll down here. The latest. He's got like Bugard and Shelley, McSorley Grimson, Ray VL, and Jason Strudwick's top 10 NHL fights. I would recommend people check that out. Jason Strudwick, under the radar, bad dude, man. Strudwick could throw down. Jim Kite, top 10 fights. Brashear versus Thornton. Gillies O'Reilly, all 5 rounds. McCarthy Grimson, all 6. Todd Gill's top 10 fight, another underrated guy. Grimson Kite, Paul Law's top 10 fights. Laroque Cote, all 3. Laroque Colt Nor, all 3 fights. Brashear and Laroque rivalry, all 7 rounds. Okay, let's actually check out old. We'll go with Laroque and Brashear here, the rivalry. So, I'll hit mute so you folks don't have to hear it. So we're watching this in real time. So we got Donald Brashear, George Laroque, 7 rounds. So here's the first one. September 15th, 97. Brashear's with Vancouver. George with Edmonton. George starting with a couple jabs. Interesting. He was setting up right-handed. Now he's going to switch over to the left. So they're in tight wrestling, obviously. Laroque's just got his hands up like, what are you doing? Like Brashear's holding on to him like it's the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Has yet to throw a punch. Wrestle in tight. Oh, now Brashear's going to separate. Brashear's got the left going. Well, you know what? I mean, it was ugly and it took a while to get going. And I know Laroque was getting frustrated because he had his hands out like, what are we doing here? In tight. But when Brashear separated from him, it bought his time. Yeah, you know what? I mean, it wasn't some Tim Bell classic or anything, but you know what? I'm going to give Brashear the win on that one. Round 2. Here we go. Start down in the corner. Oh, now Laroque's going to start. No, that was lame. Okay. Now, round 3. Square off at center ice. The second fight, they just threw too much and fell down, so we're not counting that one. Oh, fall down, back up. This is sloppy so far. Back to squaring off again. Come in tight. Wrestle. I know this is riveting podcasting. Oh, Brashear's got the left. Wrestle. Laroque's still trying to get position. Wrestles him down. Lame. The one thing I'm liking about these is there's not a lot, he doesn't have him going to the box and all this stuff. It's just immediately right into the net. Well, okay, I shouldn't say, I guess he kind of. Rob, don't include the replays. Number 4. Well, this is from the news. George looks in control of this one. He's got Brashear's jersey up over his head. That was a news clip, but I'll give George the win on that one. So right now we got a 1 win each and two shit fights. So this is round 5 here. George is with Pittsburgh and Brashear is with Washington. Long square off. Come on, boys. Let's go. Oh, Brashear led him with a good jab. George is wrestle. Shit fight. Jesus, you guys. But they're just so... Okay, now this one, here we go. Yeah, Laroque's with Pittsburgh. Yeah, Brashear with Washington again. Brashear in the white trunks. George in the black. Here we go. George, again, starts off fast with the lefts. Brashear's kind of all over the place. This is the one he goes down. George lets him back up. George is too nice again. He's owning Brashear in this one. Lots of lefts now. Yeah, and then Brashear comes back with 2 lefts and catches them. That's a tough one. I mean, George completely dominates that fight, but then it's like, well, I don't know. Like, is that a knockdown? Because Brashear comes up off the canvas, boom. Yeah, there's kind of some helmet shot. You know what? I'm still going to give George the win on that one. Because I would say if Brashear had caught him in the chin, I would say, yeah, like that's like he dropped him. But I mean, looking at that replay again, yeah, here I'm looking at it again. I don't know. That seems like 2 kind of helmet shots to the side. Maybe the temple, but because George didn't stay down, he got up right away. So I can't say that was. I know some people like to call that a knockdown for Brashear. It looked good. I mean, it looked good, but George dominated that fight and like knocked him down twice in that fight and threw him around. So, yeah, I still got to. That might be a controversial call. I still got to give George the W on that one. Okay, here we go. This is their final fight. Brashear needs this to tie it up. Squaring off at the face-off, corner face-off dot. Man, these are 2 big motherfuckers, man. George has a grab. They both fall down, back up. Come on, boys. George trying to get that grab. Brashear got in tight. Wrestle. Flailing. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, both these guys are so strong. Like, he can't move either of them. Okay, George got his helmet off. Brashear, yeah, that was a shit fight. Well, kind of questionable because I got Brashear winning 1. I got George winning 2, but one of them was and then we had 4 shit fights. That was an interesting rivalry. I think we'll just kind of call it. We'll call it a draw. I think we can't really say there's any winners in that one. Those are actually some pretty boring fights, to be completely honest. Well, that started off as a dud. Well, that's it. Chris Simon versus Darren Langdon rivalry, all 3 rounds. Okay, well, this is interesting. Let's see this one. Chris Simon and Darren Langdon. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys. Simon will definitely have the size advantage. So round 1, Langdon's with the Rangers, Simon's with the Capitals. We got some grappling here to start. Langdon's going to grapple for sure. Simon's trying to get it loose. Simon got his helmet off, trying to throw lefts. Langdon's doing a good job. Langdon's so good on the counter punch. He's not going to hurt you, but it's just like, yeah, he's like, Simon's trying to get the big lefts going, and Langdon's just coming up underneath him, kind of giving him those short jabs. In tight, he's got them both wrestling. Simon's getting frustrated. Oh, Langdon come back, a couple on Simon's head, knocks his helmet off. Simon coming back with some lefts. Like, he's trying to throw the big punch, but Langdon just rolls with it. Man, he's so smart. What a smart fighter. Getting tight. Simon's getting tired. In tight. Yeah, I mean, that's, I can't, I'll call it a draw. And that's the thing, is that, that with the Langdon fights, I think that's what you're going to get. Most of these, it's hard to. Next fight, Langdon's with Carolina, and this one, Simon's still with Washington. Simon's starting off quick with some lefts, but not doing a lot of damage. So he rips Langdon's helmet off. Langdon's getting inside with a couple of rights. Yeah, he just ties Simon up so well. Simon gave him a little bit of a headbutt there. Simon's getting frustrated trying to get his arms loose. Yeah, again, it's so hard to fight. Like, it's hard. I'd give Langdon maybe the win on points, but it's just so hard to fight him. It's just so hard. Langdon with Montreal now. Simon with the Rangers. Went down and back up. Yeah, that fight was kind of lame. A short Langdon fight. Who would thought 1 punch, 2 punch Langdon? Yeah. So kind of two draws and one win Langdon on points maybe. It's so interesting watching, man. And that's the one thing. I mean, I've read and I've talked to guys and stuff, and they get irritated with Langdon. They're not big fans, but and I get it. I guess with Langdon, it's like I could appreciate just the technique that goes into it. Because like I always say, like if fighting really is an art, and I mean, like I was, if it's an art, man, like Langdon's Picasso without a doubt. Belak and Oliwa, all three. Let's see it. It's interesting. Oliwa's a guy that doesn't get talked about very often. Oh, Jesus. Belak caught Oliwa with his head down, carrying the puck. That'll hurt. That's a big dude catching you, too. So now we're going to have a fight. December 12th, 99. Belak's with Colorado. Oliwa with New Jersey. It's two big men. Couple 6'5"ers. Oliwa when Oliwa first came up in New Jersey, he had a couple solid runs. Yeah, he's all over Belak in this one here. Belak's trying to hang tough with him, but Oliwa's getting that big right loose. Oh, caught Belak a good one. Yeah, that hurt him. That's the closest I've seen to Belak. That's funny. Oh, he hurt his knee. Oh, yeah, this one. I was going to say, that's the closest I've seen to Belak getting buckled. And then, as it turned out, he hurt his knee in that one. I wonder if he hurt his knee before that. No, because he's still hanging in there. But yeah, he goes down awkward. But yeah, that's a definite win for Oliwa. And Belak hurt his knee in that one. But Oliwa definitely caught him. Next fight, Oliwa is in 03. Belak's with Toronto. Oliwa's with Boston. I always forget Oliwa was with Boston. This should be a better fight for Belak because he got a lot better in Toronto. And that was the one thing with Oliwa. Like, after he kind of left New Jersey, to me, he always seemed like he kind of fell off a cliff fight-wise. He never really regained that dominance that he had. Like, he was pretty solid in New Jersey those first couple of years. Put up a ton of fights. But yeah, Belak's kind of... Oof. Get that helmet off, Wade. They're in really tight wrestling now, but I got to give Wade the W in that one. So round 3, the final one, the rubber match. These have actually been there's a couple good fights actually. Belak with Toronto still, Oliwa with Calgary now. Get the stick out of there. Back and forth right now. They're letting it go, both of them. Belak needs to regain his balance, though. He's kind of off balance. Now they're in tight. Draw so far. Oliwa, a couple back of the head hits. Belak coming back. Told the refs to stay out. He's leaning back away. And fight into... Yeah. Oh! I think Belak threw a bit of a headbutt here at the end. Let's see that again. They're in tight now. The refs are going to come... Oh, he did? Belak did butt him. They had a little heat there. Oliwa's telling the refs, did you see it? But yeah, Belak butted him. Huh. That's interesting. Wade usually wasn't... You know what? I'm glad I'm doing these. I am kind of... well, first of all, I'll call that series a draw, one apiece, and then the third fight was a draw. But I forgot about Wade hurting his knee on that one, but Oliwa caught him a pretty good one, and I don't remember seeing that fight and Wade headbutting him like that. Usually, Belak is a pretty clean fighter. That's well, here, look at this, folks. We're learning something here. I'm sure you guys are very excited to get the audio breakdown of a visual exercise. All right, we'll go old school here. Gillies and O'Reilly, 5 rounds. Let's get at it here. Round 1, December 17th, 77. Here we go. Starts off fast. Oh, yeah. Gilly started quick. He got the rights going. O'Reilly's flailing away. Jersey's off. He's coming back a little bit on Gillies, but Gillies definitely landed the better shots at the start. Now they're in tight, up against the glass. O'Reilly's jersey is now completely off. They're wrestling along the boards. Yeah. I'll probably give Gillies the win on points. Next round. O'Reilly's starting off fast, swinging with those lefts. Gillies is trying to set up here. O'Reilly got the jersey up. Oh, I got to give Terry the win on that one. So we're one apiece here in the 5. O'Reilly's such a spaz, right? Like, it's like, how do you get control of him? Just, you know, up and down and lefts and rights and just, but he had Gillies' jersey up. Somebody tell Clark, you got to tie that shit down. Here we go. Round 3, squaring off. Ref, get out of the way. They're squaring off. Gillies means business. Oh, Gillies, down they go. Yeah, I'll give that one a draw. Round 4 starts off. Gillies throwing rights, Terry throwing lefts. They're back and forth. They're kind of just giving it to each other. Refs get in there. I'll call that one a draw too. So the 5th one, here's the deciding one. We have a win apiece and 2 draws. Round 4, 1980. Oh, O'Reilly's starting off fast with the lefts. Clark's got his head down. Gillies is trying to find his balance, but O'Reilly's spazzing. Oh, and then Terry with the knee lift. Gave him a little, and then Gillies threw the huge left when the refs are in there, got up. Did he catch him with that one? I know he's probably hot about that knee. I forgot about that one. I don't know if he got him with that left when he came up. I got to give Terry the dub. I got to give Taz the win there, so I got 2-1 and 2 draws. 2-1-2. There we go. Lazito's already shut the episode off. Probably won't ever talk to me again. But, yeah. That was interesting with the knee lift. I forgot about that. We're closing in at the hour mark. I'll do one more. Sandy McCarthy and Stu Grimson, all 6 rounds. Let's see it. Man, these are 2 big bastards too. 6'3", 225 for Sandy. Stu 6'5", 239. Let's get at it here, boys. Round 1. February 26, 95. Sandy with Calgary, Stu with Anaheim. Square off along the boards. Stu gets in tight. Neither guy landed too much damage yet. Oh, McCarthy caught a good one. Oh, McCarthy's got his arm out of his sleeve. Look out, Stu. Yeah, Sandy's starting to take over now. Oh, Grimson's coming out of his gear now, too. Came out of his sleeve. Oh, now he's got the jersey over his head. Oh, now they're skating all the way back to from blue line to blue line almost here. Still in tight, both coming out of their gear. Yeah, that wasn't a bad little go. I'd have to call that one a draw. McCarthy was so good in Calgary, though. Man, round 2, here we go. Still Anaheim and Calgary. Square off. Stu's a couple big rights. Sandy comes back, machine gunning them here. McCarthy, Stu's missed a couple big long ones. Oh, a few lefts from McCarthy. Those kind of looked ugly. Sandy ain't much of a lefty, I don't think. Oh, Stu got him with a good one. Get the helmet off Sandy. There you go. He's got his helmet off. Got Stu's helmet off. Couple big right. Oh, he's kind of got him in a spot now. Oh, Stu's coming back. And then Stu goes down. Yeah, I'd still call that one that one. Both of them had their moments in that one. So right now we're sitting at 2 draws. I'm kind of a draw guy, to be honest. Round 3. Ooh, Stu's in Detroit. Sandy's in. I was looking down at my sheet and it started really quick. They square off. It looked like Sandy caught him with one and Stu went down right away when they were squaring off. Stu's in Detroit in this one. Squaring off. Yeah, Sandy caught him and Stu jumped right back up though. Just cut him an off balance one. Okay, they got each other. Oof, both landed simultaneous rights. Now they're going toe to toe. Oh, this has been the best one. Oh shit, this is a good fight. Now they're in tight grappling. I wonder if that first punch kind of rattled Stu a little bit. He got up real quick though. He got right back into the fight, but I wonder if he's a little foggy. Now they're still in tight. Stu's got his helmet off. Come up underneath, Stu. Yep, there he goes. Underneath. Now Stu's going to try to cross grip and go to his left. Sandy knows it, keeps his head out of the way. Fires back with the right, over the top. Both missing now. Sandy's throwing lefts. Not a lot of aim, though. Oh, now he's going to beat on the back of Stu's head like a bongo drum here. Ah, that was good tilt. I think I might give Sandy the win in the first one. Now Stu's in Hartford in the next one. Oof, another big right when they square off. Both fell down. Refs got in. Okay, well, that one was a draw. That was round 4. So right now I got 3 draws and 1 win for Sandy, but that win's a little, the Russian judge might have scored it a little odd. But man, Sandy was so good in Calgary. So good. I know after he had the shoulder problem, whatever. Oh, now he's in Tampa here. Stu's in Anaheim still. This is round 5? Stu had such longevity too. So many battles. Both reaching back. Kind of got each other tied up pretty good. Stu's just waiting for that right hand. Oh, he got Sandy's helmet off. And then they fell down. Okay, that was the shits. That was a draw. Last battle. Number 6. So I got 1 win for Sandy and 4 draws. Here we go. Round 6, December 12th, 01. Sandy's with the Rangers. Stu's at Nashville. They come up behind the net. Sandy lets him stand back up. Here we go. In tight, wrestling along the back glass. Yeah, Sandy's at the Rangers. I don't think he was going to be very interested. He was kind of at the end of the line. No, he's trying. In tight, wrestle. Stu's got that just waiting back. Sandy's actually kind of being fairly active. We got Stu's helmet off now. Stu's kind of just buying his time. Cross grip, couple lefts. Sandy with a nice left. I'd give it a draw. So basically that was kind of anticlimactic. We got 1 win for Sandy back in his Flame days. But, yeah. Anyway, folks, there you go. That was probably about as exciting as, watching paint dry, but giving you the audio breakdown of some videos. But if you want to go and check out all those videos, they're on Rob's channel. Great channel. Just watching that Sandy in Calgary. Man, oh man. So good. So good. And that's the thing with Stu, man. Such longevity. I mean, he did it for so long, and Stu was in good shit, man. He was in good fights, just a good toe-to-toe fighter. I think it's when it comes to Grimson, I think I almost I know how tough Stu was and everything else. In Chicago in his first few years, he was had the balance kind of a little bit, the issues, but always willing to trade. He wasn't a wrestler. He had them long arms, and he'd lean back. He had that uppercut he'd throw, and just had the fishing poles, But Stu was so lanky and so long, though. But he was so good. Yeah. Stu's awesome. I love Stu. But what a career. But that was fun. I was kind of, I like kind of doing that, the rivalries, and you can kind of see it grow. And yeah, the Bilak Oliwa one, I don't remember at all. Like I said, that one where he hurt his knee. I remember him getting hurt in Colorado, but I didn't remember how. And then it's oh, yeah, right. And then I don't remember Bilak throwing that headbutt on him at all. I don't think I've ever seen that fight before. So that was interesting. Yeah, cool stuff. Check out Rob's channel. You can check it all out. And there we go. Yeah, guys. Yeah, it's an hour here. I think we'll probably call it a night. It was. It's just been hard the last little while, guys. Doing 2 shows. It's hard coming up with ideas, and it's just work's been really starting to get really busy here, and staying busy with the Bruised and Battered show. Got a wife to talk to. I am trying to set up a couple interviews here behind the scenes. I've talked to a couple guys. I want to record one early next week. I'm kind of doing a special episode with Yuka. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys will really like that, especially if you're into minor league stuff. Well, I may as well say it. It's not like it's a big surprise, but Yuka and I are going to do a Serge Roberge special, because that's one of Yuka's favorite guys, one of my favorite guys as well. And like a minor league, you do a minor league Mount Rushmore. But Yuka's done vast research into Serge's career, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fights and hundreds of newspaper articles. I can't even imagine. And he's put a lot of time into it, and he really wants it to be thorough and solid. And he really wants to give you guys a good show and bring you a lot of cool information. So, and I know he's got a lot of good stuff, and Yuka's a fight historian. And for those guys that are fans of Serge Roberge, you will be, I think you guys will really dig the episode. I'm really looking forward to recording that with Yuka. I think we're going to record next Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that, because it's Serge's birthday at the end of the month. So we'll try to time it out, but really looking forward to that. I have a couple interviews, one with a Quebec League legend, minor league legend as well, and the other one, and there's an NHL guy that I need to touch base with, and we have talked about the interview. He has said yes, and unfortunately with my schedule and everything else, I have kind of put on the back burner, but I need to, if I'm like, I don't know how many more I've told a few people, I don't know how many more player interviews I have in me, because to be completely honest, I really don't enjoy them anymore. They're running around and the ghosting and all this bullshit. I get tired of it, as I've recounted on here 1,000 times. And it burns you out with you do the research, and it's just time consuming. But when you have a good one, like I enjoyed the Matt Henry one the other week. But when you have a good one, it's like, okay, but there's a couple interviews that have been on my plate for a while that I want to get done and put out. And I think you guys will really enjoy them. And I think once those wrap up, I don't know where the Fourth Line Voice is going. I will talk. I'm not just going to abruptly quit, and then it's like, whatever happened to that show? He never said. I will always keep you guys informed of what's going on. I'm not going to just quit abruptly. I mean, I have the Bruised and Battered show anyway, but I like kind of still doing my own thing. 439 episodes. But it's it's getting to the point where it's like, what am I going to do? Just audio play of fights and lists, and it's like there's only so much of that you can do. I mean, this is a little different. It was fun to do, but am I going to go to the well and just like do audio of fights for you guys to listen to? Like, no. I mean, this is just a little bit of a segment that we did and whatever. But at the same time, I love coming down here and sitting in the dark and yelling in the microphone to you guys about whatever. But I don't know. I think right now, what the problem is I'm sort of directionless as far as the Fourth Line Voice goes. I'm sort of just treading water. And, I try to do, if someone suggests or I get an interesting list, and I still, when a list is really, like the other list from the other week there, I got a whole bunch of comments about that list. So that was cool to have that engagement. But it's just hard. 400 and some episodes, you run out of ideas, right? And you run out of people to talk to, and it's we'll see. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to quit. That's not, with Ice Wars starting up again in June, and then with the talk of it having 24 events next year, basically two a month, I don't know if I'm going to lean more towards becoming almost like an Ice Wars podcast, as far as the direction goes. I don't know. I have to talk to AJ about that, because I don't know if they're going to start their own. Because if they're going to do their own Ice Wars podcast and everything else, I'm not going to piggyback on that, because why? So we'll see. And in saying that, I know there's a lot of listeners that don't like Ice Wars. And it's like, if I become an Ice Wars podcast, I know I'll lose them as listeners. Now, granted, there's Ice Wars fans, And if they're going to keep growing and growing the event and everything else, they're going to gain more fans. So I will gain new listeners from that. But, so I don't know right now what I'm going to do. I'd love for you guys, for long-term listeners, I don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys. What ideas do you have? What should I keep doing? What should I not do? I always say it's your guys' show. So, what do you guys think? Let me know. Like I said, I'm on social media, but a lot of you we follow each other on social media. Send me a DM. If you're not hockeyfights@hotmail.com, send me an email then and tell me what you think. If you have any suggestions, if you want to come on the show, I'm always open to have fellow fans on. We could do 10 questions. I really enjoy the 10 question thing. I think a lot of people did, because I think I think it's like, what do you call it? Like real talk, right? It's just two fight fans talking. So I always enjoyed that. I always enjoyed having following up with listeners and giving them an opportunity to just, get on the air and speak their mind, right? So I always enjoyed that. That was kind of interesting. I was saying, I was telling a couple guys kind of what this same kind of monologue I'm giving you now. And, and kind of just look back on the show, and it's like, I did a lot of original ideas for sure, like your 5 toughest opponents with the players, and then the lists, and not that no one's ever done a list before. People did lists before, but have actual listeners come on and talk about their experiences, and I'd like to think I was a little bit groundbreaking in coming up with a few ideas, but it's hard, right? And so like I said, if you guys have suggestions, I'd love to hear them, and we'll keep going forward. And like I said, I'm not like, oh yeah, so enjoy this one because I got a couple in me left, a couple more episodes in me, and then we're shutting it down. I'm not saying that, and I don't have, I got to get to 500, then I'll quit. I don't have a number in my mind. I've always said, as soon as it isn't fun anymore, or it becomes like a job, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't need to do this. I don't do this I get paid to do this, but it's not like some second, this is better than a second job, it's like, because I don't get paid that much for it, but it's nice. I'm not complaining. The fact I get any money at all is amazing to me. And most people that podcast don't make any money. So, over the years, for as long as I've done it, I've done well money-wise. Again, I'm not like, hundreds of thousands that's put me in this house. Like, no. I'm just saying. There was a time like when the network first got going and we didn't have so many shows. It was you had some pretty good paydays. Like you're looking at like at the time it was probably $100 an episode, 80 and whatever. It's certainly dropped off from there, but just because you got more shows, so the pie gets cut up more, right? So, but but over the years it made some pretty good money, and I certainly can't complain. So as far as my podcast run has gone, I've got to meet incredible people, and it's opened doors for me in like going to the Ice Wars, getting media passes and stuff like that, and met people through it. And Jay and Alec I met through this, and that's why I'm doing the show with them now. And I've always been thankful for the Fourth Line Voice audience and for all the support that I've gotten from you guys over the years. I've always tried my best. It's been a lot harder. When I first started, it was a lot easier to get guests because nobody was really podcasting then. I was certainly the only kind of hockey fight one for sure. Now every retired player seems to have a show and everything else. So everybody's sort of like, the pie's been cut up so hard. It's hard to get guests. I can remember when I first started this, it's like, yeah, man, you get on social media and like Twitter was just rocking back then. Everyone was on Twitter, and you just send them a DM and it's like, hey, can you come on my podcast? Sure, let's do it tomorrow. And like, bang, right? And it was like, yeah, you could get guys, no problem. Now it's like, for Christ, it's like pulling teeth. So, it's been tough, but, and like I said, just with all the bullshit I've gone through, that's also on me for not being as proactive. Cause like I said, you just get burned out, and it sours you on a lot of things. So, but yeah, I don't know what I'm saying here in the wrap up. I guess I'm just sort of, I'm chewing my food twice here, but, going forward, I guess it's more of almost like a therapy session, right? Like I said, it's I think the fourth line voice is kind of treading water right now, and I need a direction to swim, and it might be towards Ice Wars. I don't know. I'll have to see the going forward as the momentum builds with the shows, the more shows they do. I mean, I will certainly be promoting these ones coming up in June, and I'll probably have some of the fighters on the show like I do, and do preview shows. And I know some of you, again, I know some long-term listeners are not Ice Wars people, and you don't listen. I can respect that. That's fine. But I do gain listeners from the Ice Wars community as well. I want to promote the event and promote the fighters. So I can tell you now, I am an Ice Wars guy, and I will definitely be promoting it, and I will be promoting the fighters. So, get ready to listen to that come June and stuff. But after that, going forward, I'm going to see what, in terms of, I'm going to talk to the Ice Wars people, and I want to see what they're doing, especially with the bare knuckle guys. And if they're going to do that many events next year, I would think they would need an official podcast. That's just my opinion. And I don't know if that's something that they would like me to do. I haven't talked to AJ about this or anything. So I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if they have anything in mind, because AJ has his own podcast as well, Talking Trash. I don't know if maybe he'll turn that into an Ice Wars podcast. I could see that happening. That would actually make a lot of sense. But I don't know if he wants to do that, because he'll be busy enough with Ice Wars. Because I know he's the fight matchmaker and all of that stuff. So he has a full plate too, and he runs a boxing gym, etc. So I don't know if he wants to do that. And maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I have to talk to them about it. So we'll see. I might become an Ice Wars podcast. I might not. At the very least, I'll be talking about it. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm just, like I said, I know I'm babbling here at the end, but I'm just laying it out for you guys, because you guys have always been here listening, and I've always been transparent with my audience. I said I've never lied to you guys. I've always been honest with the show and what's going on with the show, and what I want from the show going forward. So I want to keep doing the fourth line voice. I want to keep bringing you guys content. I just don't know what that content is. And like I said, sometimes I think when I do the lists and stuff and everything else, like I said, I don't know if it's run its course or if people still enjoy them. I don't know. I guess when it's only once a week now, you kind of get your fill of the fourth line voice. I think as a whole, though, even if you're a big hockey podcast guy and you listen to a bunch of different podcasts, I still think the fourth line voice is unique. In terms of what I do, even with the lists or the fight breakdowns here or what have you. Like, I think that's fairly unique stuff. I don't think people are really doing that. So I think that's good. I mean, you always want to kind of, be separate from the crowd for sure. I don't know how many people are, talking older fights. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one still, but, so I want to remain original in that sense. And unique. So, we'll see. But anyway, I'm just talking here with you guys late on a Saturday night, but I think we'll wrap it up here. Again, as I was saying, I know there are thousands of podcasts for you guys to listen to out there. The fact that you took time out of your day to listen to this, I always appreciate it, guys. I really do. And please, like I always say, get a hold of me. I'd love to hear from you guys, even if you just want to bullshit. Send me an email, send me a message through social media. I'd love to hear from all you guys. And I've heard from a few cats lately, I love hearing from on Instagram, and hope you're doing better out there. Battle back, man. I love the story. Definitely going to get you on someday. What are you going by now? Tony Twisted on Instagram? It was Saddle Dome Clips for a while or something like that. But yeah, I know you're listening out there, dude. I appreciate it. Hang in there, man. But yeah. Oh, Charlie Badback, you still out there? Get a hold of me, man. We got to do a Peterborough list. I want to hear from you. There's a bunch of guys that I want to hear from. And but there we go, guys. Let's get out of here. So follow me on social media, YouTube channel, Fourth Line Voice. Check it out. And yeah, download, don't stream. And you guys have a good week. Let's attack the work week and see what happens. Talk to you guys next Saturday. Thanks, guys.
And you people that don't like fighting, how many of you did you walk out and get a coffee while that was on?